What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. In this video we are going to answer the question, who is better between Ruud Gullit and Johan Cruyff at that cam position? And the answer may seem simple, but it is not that simple, so I will have to go in depth to explain which player works in which formation, and we will answer all of these questions in this video. So without any further ado, let's jump into today's video. This is not going to be a regular comparison video like I do, where I assign players points and then in the end we decide which one works better, because the roles of the cams are different in different formations, and I have talked about this many times in my previous videos as well. There are two types of cams in FC Mobile. One is a supporting midfielder cam, which acts like a bridge between the midfield and the attack. The other is a second striker, or you could say the shadow striker cam, which acts literally like a shadow striker behind either one striker or two strikers, depending on the formation of course, and he plays right behind the striker, and he is not acting like a supporting cam where he would link the midfield with the attack. So that is why I'm making this video, to clear out this confusion. So before we actually start talking about which player is better in which formation, let's take a look at the stats first, because normally I don't talk about stats, but stats do reflect a little bit of their gameplay aspect. So I will talk a little bit about the stats just to help you guys understand this better. Now, without the skill boost, you immediately think that Cruyff is better at everything. He's got better pace, better shooting, better passing and better dribbling, and Gullit is only surpassing him in the defending and physical department. But this changes immediately as we upgrade these cards and give them training. So after giving both the dribbling skill boost and training them to max, you can see that the tables turn a little bit. The pace difference, which was very huge, is not much now, and Cruyff initially had better passing, but after giving them the skill boost, Gullit seems to have the edge in the passing, and it is also reflected in the game. Gullit does have better passing in game, and his passes are better than Cruyff in the game. Dribbling wise, of course, Cruyff is going to be the winner, and defending and physical are going to go with Gullit. Now let's take a look at their advanced stats so I can explain this better. In the pace department, both the players seem to have equal amount of acceleration, but in game Cruyff is going to feel much robust with his pace, because he is a short player and shorter players have more robust pace. Next up, if we take a look at their shooting stats, of course, everything is going to go with Cruyff. We don't have to talk about that. His shooting is without any doubt one of the best in the game, and his long shots are way better than Ruud Gullit. And if we take a look at their short passing, of course, you can see that Ruud Gullit has better short and long passing, and this is actually reflected in the game as well. His long passes are also very good compared to Cruyff. And vision, even though Cruyff seems to have better vision, but it is not really reflected 100% in the game. Gullit's passes are just as visionary as Cruyff in the game. If we talk about the dribbling, of course, Cruyff is going to have much better agility, much better dribbling than Ruud Gullit, and Gullit does have better balance compared to Cruyff, and that's obvious because he's a really tall player, he's very strong, so his balance is going to be better, and they both seem to have the same amount of ball control. But the thing that makes a difference is of course going to be the dribbling and the agility stats, so I think this is where Cruyff is going to do a much better job. In the defensive department, you can see that Cruyff is almost dead. Not just because of the stats, but also because of the work rates. He neither has the stats nor the work rates to provide any defensive stability in the midfield. So that is something you should keep in mind. Gullit offers much better defensive support in the midfield compared to Cruyff. And lastly, in the stamina department, you can see that Gullit has a lot more stamina than Cruyff, and that is also reflected in the game. Cruyff seems to go out of stamina way quicker if you force him to track back, because he has low defensive work rates. He won't be doing much tracking back, but if you force him to track back, he's going to lose his stamina way quickly. And in the strength department, Gullit is the clear winner. There is no doubt about that, and he's also more aggressive with his pressing. So according to what you have seen, one thing is clear. Cruyff takes the edge when it comes to pace, dribbling and shooting, and you automatically think that these are the dominant attributes of an attacker, so in an attacking sort of a role you would want to play Cruyff. And the dominant aspects of Gullit are defending, physical, pace and passing. and you automatically think that these are the qualities of an attacking midfielder and not an all-in-all attacker. So I'm going to name some formations where Gullit shines better, and then I'm going to name the formations where Cruyff is going to perform better. In a 4-3-3 attack formation, Gullit is going to be a better option, because in a 4-3-3 attack formation, your cam is acting like a bridge between the attack and the midfield, and if you play Cruyff in that position, because of his work rates, he is going to act like a shadow striker. And in 4-3-3 attack, you don't need a shadow striker, because if he starts playing right beside the striker, your midfield is going to get exposed a lot, because that middle of the park is going to stay empty and your CMs are going to have to do the job to fill it up, and then that is also going to make them go out of position and you are going to face a lot of problems. So in that sort of a role, Gullit is going to do a better job, because not only he has better attacking positioning, he also has really good passing and defensive positioning. So regardless of his high medium work rates, he's still going to be in really good defensive positioning as well. Next up is 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, aka the diamond formation, and you can actually play both Gullit and Cruyff in this formation depending on what you are trying to achieve. If you want to play this formation as a complete build-up and tiki-taka style formation, then you would want to play Gullit in this formation. Gullit is still going to make runs just as good as Cruyff does, but he will also be available to receive passes and link the midfield with the attack, and I think this is very crucial, because if you play Cruyff in that sort of a role, he's always going to be in an attacking position, he's always going to be with the strikers, and there won't be any player in that cam position who would be there to link up the midfield and your entire build-up with the attack. So if your aim is playing complete direct attacking football or complete counter-attacking football, then I think you would want to go with Cruyff, but if you want to build up your play, you should be going with Gullit in this formation as a cam. Next up is 4-1-2-1-2 wide. Now in the wide formation, I would not suggest that you go with Cruyff, because again, Cruyff is going to be lost in the attack. Not lost, he would be playing beside the strikers, but he would be in a way advanced position, and your CDM is going to be isolated in the midfield, because your wider players are going to be wider apart and they won't be able to support your CDM, or he won't be able to support them just as good as they would do in the presence of a cam. And it is also likely that you would want to play wingers in those LM and RM positions, so they are going to be in advanced positions as well. So in this formation, you want to play Gullit, who is actually going to link up your midfield with the attack. Next, and probably the last formation where you would want to play Gullit as a cam, is going to be the 4-2-1-3 formation. Now in 4-2-1-3, you know that we play with two CDMs, and normally you would think that Cruyff could work here too, because even if Cruyff gets too advanced, you still have two CDMs who are going to do the job for you when it comes to defending, but your entire build-up is going to get demolished, because your CDMs are not going to do the creative job for you. The space between your CDMs and your striker is going to be huge, because Cruyff is also going to act like a shadow striker, or you could say a second striker in this formation, and the entire midfield gets exposed a lot. You don't get to pressure your opposition, and you have to completely rely on counter-attacking. If you want to go with counter-attacking, then I think Cruyff can work too, but if you want to play more stably in this formation, you have to go with Gullit as a cam in this formation. I also showed you some glimpses in my Ruud Gullit review where you saw that he was doing so well in this formation when I played him at that cam spot. Next up for Cruyff, I think the remaining formations which have a cam are going to go with Cruyff. I'm not going to talk about every formation because there are many. I'm still going to name them. 4-2-3-1 narrow and wide, 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, 4-5-1, 4-2-2-2, 4-5-1 holding, 5-2-1-2, 3-5-2, 4-3-1-2, 3-4-1-2, 4-3-2-1, 4-4-1-1 and 3-4-2-1. Now these are all the formations where Cruyff would be a better choice. Essentially in formations where you have wider cams, you want to play Cruyff. For example, you have 4-2-3-1 and 4-2-2-2 formation where your cams are playing in advanced roles, your cams are playing wider apart, so in those sort of roles, Cruyff is going to do a way better job than 𝗧𝗶𝗸 because you want a cam that plays in a really offensive position, so that's why you would want to go with Cruyff there. And in 4-1-2-1-2, I already explained that both Gullit and Cruyff can do well depending on what you are trying to achieve. In a 3-5-2 formation, normally this cam is also acting like a bridge, but not in the way you would think. In 3-5-2, your cam, regardless of his work rates, don't really track back or stays in that middle spot where you would want him to link the CDMs and get the passes from your CDMs and then build up the attack. He is still going to be in an advanced position, and that is by design because you already have 3 center backs and there are 2 CDMs playing in front of those center backs. So by design, this formation does not allow your cam to play too deep, and your cam is already going to be in an offensive position. So if you play 𝗧𝗶𝗸 in those roles, I think his lack of dribbling, his lack of pace compared to Cruyff, and his lack of shooting ability is going to be a big problem for you. So that is why in such formations, formations like 3-5-2 and 3-4-2-1, we also have 3-4-1-2 where you play CMs instead of CDMs. I think these are the sort of formations where Cruyff is going to do a better job compared to 𝗧𝗶𝗸. Then we also have a formation like 5-2-1-2, and this is a 5 at the back formation. You already have lots of defenders in there, so you want your attack to have a maximum potential. And even if you play a striker in that cam role, it is still going to do a really good job. And you know, Cruyff is already a striker which can play at that cam position really well. So that is why Cruyff is going to do a better job for you. And I think that would be a wrap for today's video. I think I have explained everything to you guys, how you should be managing your Cruyff and 𝗧𝗶𝗸 in your squads. If you have Cruyff, then you use these formations. If you have 𝗧𝗶𝗸, you use those formations which I talked about. If you have both of these guys, then I think you can also manage them. For example, in a 4-2-1-3 formation, you can play 𝗧𝗶𝗸 as CDM and then play Cruyff as an attacking cam, or you can play Cruyff as a striker and then 𝗧𝗶𝗸 as a cam. So these are the kind of things that you can try with these players. But in a 4-2-2, I don't think you should play 𝗧𝗶𝗸 as a cam in one side and then Cruyff as a cam on the other. I've told you guys that these cams are kind of isolated and they play in an advanced role, so 𝗧𝗶𝗸 is not going to do a good job for you compared to Cruyff. So I think I've explained everything now, and if you enjoyed today's video, learned something new, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.